Is it recording now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now you can see the screen. Okay. All right. Uber fail. Okay. Here we go. Oh, we have The Meaning of Life by Bradley Trevor Grieve. This should take normally about 10 minutes. With discussion, it's a little bit longer. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Marathon time. Halt. Whoa. Stop right there. Before you read any further, there's something you should really know. You may have opened this little book expecting it to be filled with answers, but surprise, surprise, it's actually a book about questions. This may not be what you wanted to hear. Most people don't like questions. They like answers. And if they don't get easy answers straight away, their eyes immediately start to glaze over. Pretty soon, they're off in a lovely daydream about dancing cupcakes, singing turnips, and soaking in a bathtub filled with warm vanilla custard. And so this is important. If you feel like saying, questions, who needs them? Then this is your last chance to throw this book away and wander off to watch YouTube. I repeat, this is your last chance. The meaning of life. No matter how you look at it, life is strange. Amy, 2 words.
Very strange.
For example, it's an indisputable fact that we are all made of the precise same substance as the most intelligent, creative, magnificent life forms in the entire universe. Furthermore, we are composed of the same exact atomic matter as the mightiest mountains on this planet and the brightest stars in the galaxy. Of course, this is also true for potatoes, snails, and meatloaf. Perhaps that's why there's so much about life that doesn't make a great deal of sense. One small fact here is that the carbon that is inside of your body and the carbon that's inside of your family's body has some likelihood that it was generated inside of the same star. For starters, why are we so overly impressed by and obsessed with objects and achievements of immense scale? When it is actually the tiny little things that, when put together, make big things possible. Why do we create our own little worlds so that we have the illusion of being completely in control of our entire existence when we know with absolute certainty that we are not? Why do we go on and on about individuality being the very essence of who we are? Amy?
And then, as a bit degrading level of community in virtually every facet of our life.
All right. And then the word there is conformity. And conformity is having to act like everybody else because everybody else acts like that.
Oh,
Why do children believe in fairies, but grown-ups don't? The Little Prince. And why do we get so hung up on what we don't agree on, when in fact it's our differences that make life interesting? After all, half the world is upside down. There's absolutely no reason why we would all agree on everything. Even something as basic and profound as don't chew with your mouth open is not as widely as accepted as you might think.
why is it that when passions are inflamed, we choose to agree and fight?
When dancing the cha-cha is less injurious, far more enjoyable, and equally effective in resolving the tension.
And why do we feel drawn together as a species?
Yet we steadily build up defensive barriers around our innermost feelings and beliefs so that we can never truly be close to anyone. This is more especially true these days after COVID, before, after this book was written, and with like smartphones and apps and Tinder and TikTok and everything. Perhaps the confusion arises because life is not always what it seems. I like the animal pictures. As a species, we are obsessed with superficial appearance. We all have filters on, so we mostly see only what we want to see. When you finally open your eyes, you may be shocked at the obscured way you have been viewing the world to suit your own little plans. With those filters removed, you can take a closer look into yourself and ask objective questions about the universe and your place in it. In other words, investigate the meaning of life. So, what is life all about? Well, you often hear that life is a journey, but a journey to where exactly? You try?
Some people say that life is all about acquiring knowledge. If that's true, then why do smart people always dress so badly? And that's a fact.
There are those who say that life has no purpose, that it just is. Whoa, that's so deep. Then there are people who say that we are simply here to have a family, to procreate. After all, the desperate need to replace ourselves is etched into the genetic map of every living being. However, this means that our entire existence is driven by our primitive sexual urges. Okay, sure, a long weekend maybe, but in our entire existence, I don't think so. In fact, come a tiny bit closer and I'll let you in on a little secret. All of these ideas sound completely stupid. The only theme that resonates throughout the numerous popular life theories is love. Love in all its fragile forms, and it is the one powerful, enduring force that brings real meaning to our everyday lives. Of course, I'm not talking about the romantic kissy love, although that is pretty powerful stuff in itself. It's well documented that a broken heart feels far more painful than squeezing lemon juice over a deep paper cut. Okay, making the decision to make this recording longer. Once upon a time, there was a story that I heard a very long time ago. There were sets of nurses inside of a nursery. There were 20 orphans in there. They didn't have parents. They were all born prematurely. So premature orphaned babies in a maternity ward with no parents, taken care of by 3 shifts of nurses. Clear?
Clear.
In the 3rd shift, the graveyard shift, that was the one that the person came on after dinner and they stayed on until almost very early in the morning, until the morning shift lady came in, which was the best shift. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That lady at the end of her shift every night went to the last baby, picked it up, held it, and did this, right? And I gave it some love. A group of researchers ended up studying this group. And over time, what they found was that 20th child was almost more successful in every category, including health, success, education, income, job, and basic life happiness and satisfaction. And they found that out like after 15 years or so of following them. Crazy, huh? 20,
Yeah.
almost 20 years. And then I think somebody else did a follow-up study. I still have to find it though, but crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real. Okay. It's quantifiable in a sense. But the love I mean, okay, is the fire that burns inside us all, but the picture is cute. The inner warmth that prevents our soul from freezing in the winters of despair. It's the love of life itself. It's the voice that says, celebrate life, be creative. It brings with it the passion and understanding that some things in life are worth dying for, but there is so much more worth living for. It encourages us to greet each moment the same way we greet an old friend at the airport. The kangaroos are awesome. To embrace opportunities to express ourselves in a way that makes us feel glad we exist. This love of life leads us to help others simply because it feels great to contribute to those around us. Edit. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest leaders of all time, been dead for maybe 2,000 years. Um, all you need are these three: to be certain in your judgment in the present moment, to know that your actions are for the common good in the present moment, and to be grateful for everything that comes your way in the present moment. We all know how wonderful it feels to be a rock for our family and friends. Of course, there is a limit. Amy?
Yes. Oh, but as good as this sounds, and as much as you're here to live that life you love, it still brings up a whole pie of sticky questions.
Good. All right. That was a good edit because you saw the pile of worms. Specifically, why exactly are you here? What is it that you truly love? People who don't ask themselves these questions invariably go through life wondering why it isn't a lot more fun. And you see the dog. The dog is like, it's so good. And then invariably, the root word would be variable that you know in math. And then you go with the in that makes an opposite. So it implies that it's not a variable at all. And then you add the ly, which makes it an adverb. And so it's that you can't really figure out the variables to this question if you don't ask yourself this question. Clear?
Clear?
Okay. All right. Here, they often feel they've been left behind. The Chihuahua. um, or they can't quite put it into words, but they sense that something smells a little funny. The truth is often we're so focused on, Amy,
What we are doing that we lost sign of where we are going.
but what are we actually doing? The modern world is filled with questionable distractions, deadlines, and priorities. This mic is always in my way. All right. Sometimes I will say popcorn, and you will have to take over and read and finish the page. Day and night blur into one, the Siamese cat. We get caught up in an avalanche of fears and desires that propel us into a race we can't possibly win. The idiom here is the rat race.
Yeah.
So we rush to get to a certain ideal point in our life. Popcorn.
And then what?
It's just like when you drive all the way to the store, get out of the car, and then can't remember what you.
Came for.
So many of us start off dreaming about a.
Wonderful life that is a wild and free.
Okay. And you also have the option to stop, and then I have to catch up.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But that's usually a long way from where we actually end up. The chubby chihuahua. Okay. And then here, when I say wild and free, I say young, wild, and free.
Mm.
All right. It should be, like how Buddhist monks have in Sanskrit and other languages. That in my mind is young, wild, and free as long as I can have it. Sadly, we often discover this fact right at the end when it is too late. You can't start all over again. Money comes and goes, but time comes and goes, and you can never get it back. Edit until we invent time travel safely. Safely is a big one. And let me tell you, there are some awfully bad feelings in this world, like bubbles in the bath guild, pungent foot odor in the shoe store, embarrassment.
And I can't believe that I did that on the first date. Anxiety.
But all the awful feelings that make you feel sick to your stomach, nothing feels half as bad as knowing you had a chance to do what you truly love, but you didn't take it. Shakespeare, 'tis better to have loved than lost to have never loved at all. So what is your life's passion? What were you put on this earth to do? The answer to these questions will unlock the greatest mystery of life. It's as big as they come, and it's yours. Here are a few hints that may help you get on the right track. First, no one is going to tell you about it. It's like walking around all day with a sign on your back that says, kick me. Popcorn.
You must discover it for yourself.
It's also highly unlikely that one day you will suddenly be bathed in bright light and your life's purpose will be laid out in divine vision. And it's guaranteed that you won't find it on television, right? So we got vision and television. People like rhyming. Yes, it's remotely possible that one day the blood will rush to your brain and enable you to work it all out without too much bother. That was bad. Enable you to work it all out without too much about. Oh man, that is not the way I talk. Enable you to work it all out without too much bother. Too much bother. But the best way is to spend some quality time alone, asking yourself the tough questions. And then this is extra good and great because it's the thinking man, but it's a monkey or a gorilla. This exercise is not that hard, but it's all about being honest. Popcorn.
It's as easy as raise your hand. You feel you could get more out of life.
I love pandas. It is also about getting to the essence of what really matters. Never mind who moved the cheese. Ask yourself, why were you looking for the cheese in the first place? It's very wise. It's very wise. And it's so like borderline cringeworthy, but good. The panda, though, is the equalizer. For some people, this will simply be a case of seeking out the moments in their life that are beautiful and true, and then building a plan around them. For others, it may feel as if they are staring into an abyss. And an abyss is a deep, deep, dark cave. SAT word. In extreme cases, such intense introspection may cause the brain to swell to dangerous dimensions. Trust me, it's worth the risk. If you ask the big questions and listen carefully to your heart, popcorn,
You will eventually hear destiny call you.
because it's your voice. A little voice, call it your conscience, your inner self, or your internal mother-in-law, the little turtle, will always tell you the truth if you are prepared to hear it. As at first, you may only become aware of how your life has been stuck in a rut. Hey, join the club. Do you know stuck in a rut?
No, I don't know what
Okay.
is running.
We have to do something real fast. Okay. Bum, bum. Oh.
Oh,
It's okay. Hold on. Oh, you're checking?
yep.
Oh, okay. All right. Faster. Nice. Oh, teamwork. Okay, good. Then you may realize what you may really want, but you just can't quite make it happen. Pretty soon, though, it will hit you right between the eyes, just like when you're halfway to the beach and suddenly remember that you left the iron on at home. But it's like a better sound. Ding. All right. And when you know, or even suspect you know, that what you should be doing with your life, then do it. This is called a flying squirrel. Take a wild leap into the dark if you have to, and then hit the ground running because you don't have a second to lose. Let's say a human lives 100 years on this planet and there are 365 days per year. That's 36,500 days. You are 16 years old, right? 16 years old. So that means you've lived about 8,000 years, 8,000 days. So that means that you really have about 27,000 days left, 27,000 days left. And then break that down to seconds and then collect them down like on a countdown watch. It's where each one that passes is gone forever. Yeah. Okay. All right. In spite of our feelings, of invincibility and immortality. Our existence is far more tenuous than we might think. And tenuous means exactly what we might think might happen to this little monkey. Okay. All right. But he's good. He's a ninja. All right. He's actually very fluffy. He doesn't weigh that much. Place your hand over your chest and feel your heartbeat. That is actually your life clock ticking, counting down the moments you have left. That one's more powerful. One day it will stop. That is 100% guaranteed. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. So you can't afford to throw away a single precious second. Go after your dreams with energy and passion, and you may as well stand back and watch them wash down the drain. If you waste your life sitting on the fence, you'll always end up going nowhere in the brief time you'll have left. And then, of course, there's a dangerous risk of splinters in delicate regions. As they say, you can't cross a chasm in 2 small leaps. It takes courage and commitment to live your dreams.
Of course, no one needs to remember where courage ends and stupidity begins.
Grubum, thank you very much. Like, okay, think about the quick side point as a teacher perspective progression. I had to lots of times in my life I have to give instructions, and then I have to explain instructions again, and then I shorten instructions, and then shorten it more, and then shorten it more. And then right now I just looked at you from the camera, from the screen sharing on like a tiny screen on your iPad or computer or maybe even phone, and then you just started reading. So like sinking. Yes, pro. High five. Okay. The truth is, we are all born with potential greatness and blessed with numerous opportunities to soar to dizzying new heights. But sadly, many of us are too lazy, too concerned about what others might think, or too afraid of change to ever stretch our wings and realize our tremendous talents. Popcorn.
It's so important that you just do your own thing, whatever will make you truly happy, and do it as best you can. It doesn't matter whether you think things is making snowballs.
Holding your breath underwater.
Um, hot calling. Okay.
Or wielding a hairdryer with dramatic effect. The only thing that matters is that you feel great about doing what you're doing. Keep in mind that whatever you do, mistakes are a part of life. These guys are wallabies, and I learned and saw them and pet one. If you hit one with a car, they say that they are so solid, it's like hitting a rock. So don't waste your time kicking yourself for the past, even though he's cute and he's vicious and aggressive, like a koala. He's awesome. Don't stall or stress over whether, not a wallaby, I forgot the name, whether you're doing the right thing. You'll always know the answer in your heart. Oh, that's a beautiful cat. Rather than be discouraged, always remember that rejection and resistance are almost guaranteed when you're doing something very important and very special. I really need to remember this. This keeps on popping up everywhere in my life. Man, on like these thoughts, not the opposite. All right. At the opposite, yeah, sure, that part is normal, but like the part that's the reminder that says be cool. Okay. When you set out to live your dreams, lots of people, including those who love you the most, will try to hold you back. In this world, there are many miserable pessimists who have given up on their dreams and will tell you, you're wasting your time. You'll never make it. You may well be surrounded by people who secretly want you to achieve less or even fail completely just so they don't look bad. Forget about it, they'll say. It's not worth about it. It's not right for you anyway. So it's important to understand that following your own path is incredibly rewarding, but it's definitely not easy.
like everyone else, you will have some days that are better than others.
Occasionally, everything may seem like a total disaster area, and the idiom here is a bull in a china shop. People will look at you strangely when you tell them what you are trying to achieve.
And you start to listen to your dis- detractors and doubt yourself. Why, oh, why? Didn't I keep my job selling hot dogs?
He's got boobies. All right, doubt. The word doubt here, it's a powerful word and it should be said powerfully. It's DOW, doubt. And then there's no B sound. So you go doubt. Just remove the B from your eyes, right? And you go doubt, like somebody's saying, you doubt me, right? And then that's the way to say it, you know? So we say it like this. We say, you'll start to listen to your detractors and doubt yourself. That would be the tired way, right? And then the angry way, you'll start to listen to your detractors and doubt yourself. Okay.
Okay.
All right, cool. And then there's one other thing I have to do real fast here. Can I remember it? Do I remember it? Because he is merely a dissenting voice to the truth I speak. Okay. But whatever happens, just hang on. Remember that everybody struggles at times. It's incredibly draining to live through the day knowing something you really don't or even care about, don't enjoy or even care about. Other faces.
But if you follow your dreams, at least you will exhaust yourself doing what you love most.
This is so good. Now you may not think that this will measure up to much in the global scheme of things, but believe me, it does.
When you get the most out of your time, savoring every last drop.
It will transform everything about. Oh, okay, we're going British. It will transform everything about you from ordinary to extraordinary. Okay, all right. This is why I'm from LA. All right. When you do what you love, you can pull back the bed sheets every morning feeling excited about beginning another day. And you'll be filled with heartfelt joy that is highly contagious. The pigs. Have you ever read Babe or Wilbur? Charlotte's Web. Charlotte's Web.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. All right. It's okay. Just like when you start laughing out loud and you make someone else start laughing and then someone else until you're all laughing so hard that your eyes water, you'll get terrible stomach cramps. It's hard to breathe and you can't even stand it. But best of all, by doing the things that make your whiskers curl up with delight, assuming, of course, that you actually have whiskers, you will inspire someone else to go after their dreams. Man, this is a good reminder. And that, my friend, is how you change the world. I can't say it the like, way, synapse and way. I can't. It's too cringeworthy. All right. You know what? But I believe in it. You know what? If you make big mistakes, if you're wrong about almost everything, you'll still enjoy an amazing fun-filled life adventure. This is a classic photo. And you will go to sleep at night knowing you gave your all and made a difference.
And wake up each day looking forward to a future that is as beautiful and exciting as you can imagine.
Smooth as F. You know something else? If you just listen to your heart and use your head, this is also a classic pick. You'll never be wrong. Oh, the end. Okay. All right. The Meaning of Life, written by Bradley Trevor, giving full total credit to the guy who wrote this, and then edits to us. All right. Bradley Trevor Grieve's three previous books, The Blue Day Book, Dear Mom, and Looking for Mr. Right, are international bestsellers in the United States, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Asia, and Brazil. In addition to writing intriguing, entertaining books, BTG is an artist, cartoonist, furniture and toy designer, animation director, screenwriter, and ex-paratroop leader. Vocabulary here would be multidisciplinary. Multidisciplinary. He was born in Tasmania. That place is dope. And now lives in Sydney, Australia. That place is pretty cool. With his rabbit, Biff. Okay. All right. That's pretty good. Printed in Singapore. Okay. All right. And then we'll give credit to the publishers, I think, just to be safe. Okay. All right. Here we go. Is it Blue Day Book? Looking for the copyright page. This is how we be Riep Roy, Amy. Okay. Riep Roy. Okay. Official credit also to BTG, Andrews, Mike, McNeil Publishing, Kansas City, America. Okay. All right. Boom. Done. Done.